All right, now we're going to hear from Stephanie S. Franklin, Esquire, who is the president and CEO of the Franklin Law Group, a law firm in Baltimore, Maryland that provides legal representation to abused and neglected children in 5 counties in the state. The Franklin Law Group has provided legal representation to approximately 4,000 children since 2007. Ms. Franklin is a social and cultural entrepreneur, an activist, and a lawyer who has advocated for marginalized groups for approximately 25 years. Ms. Franklin serves on the Maryland Judiciary's Legislative Subcommittee on Child Abuse and Neglect and the Judiciary's Outreach and Programming Committee. She has been involved in several initiatives on the state and local levels in Maryland affecting foster care kids. She's published on issues that intersect child welfare and criminal justice and has upcoming publications to be released in 2014 concerning Black girls and the school-to-prison pipeline. And she has and continues to facilitate legal, healing, and empowerment programs to girls, women, men, and boys in juvenile detention and adult correctional facilities. Thanks, Stephanie.
Good morning, everyone. I first want to start off and thank the staff at the U.S. Human Rights Network for allowing me to present this morning. You see that my name isn't in the program. There were some logistical issues, but I want to thank all of you for allowing me to speak this morning on what I feel is a very important topic that many people don't know about. I also want to say to you that I would be remiss if I did not thank my ancestors for having me here today and allowing me to stand on this stage. And I want to recognize Nelson Mandela for all of the beauty that he brought to the entire globe. The very last group I want to thank are the beings who walk with me. They are the ones who make me the warrior of justice that I am. They stand behind my back, they make me strong, they give me courage, and they give me voice. So I always honor them when I walk into a room. My name is Ashley. I am 19 years old. I'm African American, and I've been committed to the Baltimore City Department of Social Services for the last 5 years. I was removed from my mother because my mother said she couldn't control me because I hung out really late, past my curfew. I was in the car with different boys all the time. So she called my father and said, "Why don't you take her for a while?" I didn't get along with my father. We had a lot of aggression and opposition with each other, and he said he no longer wanted to take care of me. So he called my mother so I could go back to her, but my mother was locked up. She was arrested. And so here I am, shipped off to foster care with these crazy people who say this about me. I'm aggressive, I'm oppositional, so they labeled me oppositionally defiant. I can't stay focused. I'm out of control. So they labeled me ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Then, because I was so sad that my mother was away and I couldn't see my mother and I was in a foreign place I had never been before, they said I was depressed. And lastly, because sometimes I'm high, meaning I'm elated, I'm happy, I got a lot of energy, and then sometimes I'm really low and I just don't really feel like being bothering with people. They named me bipolar disorder. So I want to fast forward 5 years later, and I'm with my attorney and I'm getting this psychiatric evaluation because I have all of these diagnoses, and in order for me to continue taking the medication that they prescribe me, those psychotropic medications, you know, psychotropic medications make me a little crazy. They make me very sleepy when I'm in school. They make me act a little different than I normally do. I just don't feel like myself when I take these medications, but I gotta go and get evaluated because this is what the social worker told me. Okay, so I go into the psychiatrist's office and I meet with him. He's an older man, And he's talking to me, and he's treating me like shit, okay? He's disrespecting me. He's not listening to what I'm saying. He's so engaged in hurrying up to finish my evaluation that he doesn't even really know what's going on with me. So I begin to be untruthful with him. I don't tell him exactly how I feel. I could give a shit about what he thinks about how I feel. So I shut down my normal mode. I don't even know this man. I'm not talking to him. I'm not telling him my most intimate or private secrets. Then all of a sudden, at the end of the evaluation, he says, well, I don't have enough information to determine whether you're ADHD or not. I don't have enough information to determine whether or not you need to take psychotropic medication. Did Ashley have a right to be treated with human dignity? Did Ashley have a right to be treated with respect? Did Ashley have a right to her humanity? Fact. The foster care children in the United States are roughly over 407,000 children in care in the state, across the country. The 2012 census says that under the age of 18, 23.5% of children make up that population. Fact. The percentage of children in foster care who are children of color are 57%. Fact. Percentage of children of color in the U.S. child population is 42%. Fact. Percentage of children in foster care who are African American are 33.9%. Fact. Percentage of children in foster care who are American Indian or Alaskan Native are 2.1%. Fact. Percentage of American Indian and Alaska Native children in U.S. child population is 0.9%. 19% of children in foster care are Latino, which is about the same percentage of Latinos in the U.S. child population. However, Latino children are disproportionately represented in foster care in 16 states. Native American children are disproportionately represented in the child welfare system in 17 states. And African American children are disproportionately represented in 32 states in this union. So that tells you who's generally in foster care. So let's talk about what they say about foster care children. I want to talk about mental health, psychotropic medication, human dignity, and its impact on children and youth in the foster care system. So a study at NIH, or the National Institute of Mental Health, found that nearly half of youth in foster care were determined to have clinically significant emotional or behavioral problems. They also said that 30% of those in foster care were diagnosed with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, which was 2 times the rate of approximately all U.S. combat vets. All right. So what does that mean? That means that some of our children are coming into care with some issues that need to be addressed. But my question is psychotropic medication the answer? That's the question. And let's talk about the mental health diagnoses. Most children that are in the foster care system have been diagnosed with ADHD. That's just that. Basically, they feel that they're very hyper and they're uncontrollable and they cannot focus. I cannot tell you the number of children that pass the desks of myself and my attorneys who have been prescribed ADHD. It's so common that as a matter of course, the courts are just pretty much, oh yeah, they have ADHD, so what psychotropic medications are they taking? Do you know how significant it is to be impacted by a psychotropic medication? Do you know that? Do you know how it makes you feel? You would be surprised to know this, or maybe you won't, that the most successful company companies in the U.S. are pharmaceutical companies. It's Big Pharma. And I want to give you some information on Big Pharma. So, in 2008, $4.8 billion was made by Big Pharma on ADHD medications. $4.8 million. And the side effects of psychotropic medication are grave. They say that prescription drugs are the cause of more deaths every year in the U.S. than those resulting in crack cocaine, methamphetamine, and heroin combined. But yet, they are prescribing these medications at rapid rates to one of the most vulnerable populations in this country, youth and children of color. Every child has a right to life. Every child has a right to their survival and their development. This is what the Declaration of Human Rights states very clearly. And it also states in its preamble that children are entitled to special care and assistance. The child, by reason of his physical or her physical mental immaturity, needs special safeguards and care, including appropriate legal protection before as well as after birth. That is in the preamble. Many of you in here would not be surprised to know that the United States has not yet ratified the Convention on the Rights of the Child. The Convention on the Rights of the Child came out in 1990. We, along with Somalia, are the only countries who have not ratified this convention. And I ask you why. And I know my time is up, so I'm going to end here. So I can talk specifically, hopefully, during the question and answer period about what actions we're taking as a small law firm to address this on the ground level and then transfer it to policy so that we can make sure and guarantee that these children are receiving the special care and protection that they desire and that they are entitled to. Thank you.